Hello, everyone. This is a new podcast to go over some new concepts. We're going to go over how to construct a dominant seventh chord, a major seventh chord, and a minor seventh chord. Okay, it sounds like there's a lot of stuff here, but really it's all built on the things that we've already done with triads. If you would like to follow along at least a part of this podcast, please head to the textbook for page 77, lesson 50. Now, the textbook only goes over the dominant seventh chord, also called the 5-7 chord, but in our class, we're going to introduce all the types of the seventh chords because I think they're all related and it's useful to know. For the first type, the dominant seventh chord, it's basically, as you see on the page, it's constructed with a major triad as the root, third, and fifth. So start with a major triad using the root that you'd like to use. And then what you're going to do is add a minor seventh between above the root. Okay, so you're going to have the root, third, and fifth. Let's say you would like to build a dominant seventh chord starting with G as the root. So you would first build a G major triad, G, B, D. And then you're going to add a minor seventh above G. In this case, it'd be F. So G, B, D, F would be the dominant seventh chord with G as the root. Okay. By the way, it's called the dominant seventh chord or the 5-7 chord. Dominant is another name for 5, the fifth scale degree of a scale, because this chord is naturally occurring in a scale by using all the notes of that major scale by starting on the fifth note. Right? Just to let you know, that's where the name dominant comes from. Okay, again, for dominant seventh chords, starting with a root, you are building a major triad, just a regular old major triad, starting with a root, and then you're adding a minor seventh above the root. Okay, that's the dominant seventh chord. You can also think of it as starting with the major triad on the bottom and then adding a minor third above the fifth. Okay, so if you want to think about it in thirds. Next, for a major seventh chord, it's exactly the same thing as a dominant seventh chord, except, of course there's an exception, except that we're adding not a minor seventh above the root, but a major seventh above the root. So in this case, if you're reading along in the textbook in lesson 50, in order to turn that dominant seventh chord starting on G into a major seventh chord, you would add an F sharp. Okay, so it would be G, B, D, F sharp, because you need a major seventh between above the root. Okay, finally, a minor seventh chord is also very much related. In this case, if we start with a dominant seventh chord, okay, again, G, B, D, F, for a minor seventh chord, we're essentially starting with a minor triad instead of a major triad. Okay, and then we're ending with a minor seventh above the root. Okay, so in this case, a minor seventh chord with G as the root, okay, and that would be G, B flat, D, F natural. Right? So the only difference between a dominant seventh chord and a minor seventh chord with the same root is that the dominant seventh chord has the major triad in the bottom, root, third, and fifth, and the minor seventh chord has a minor triad, root, third, and fifth. Okay. In another example, for example, if we start building all three types of chords using the note C, okay? So the dominant seventh chord with C as the root would be C, E, G, that's the major triad, and then B flat, okay? Because you need a minor seventh above the root. For the major seventh chord with C as the root, you would again start with C, E, and G, but this time you would have a B natural, C, E, G, B natural. For the minor seventh chord starting on C, you would thus start with a minor triad, in this case C, E flat, G, and then a minor seventh above the C, in this case B flat. So C, E flat, G, B flat. Okay? Please take a look at the musician exercises that are related to this and have a practice. Okay? The next podcast will conclude with the final two types of seventh chords for this semester, which will be fully diminished or diminished seventh chords and half diminished seventh chords. Okay?